So here I can just merchant. Ah, who's the burn player now, bitch? I don't actually know if I've queued into Astra. Maybe like once before. Astra's a cool guy. Yeah, he's a friend of mine. I don't know. Do I have to keep Whale in this matchup? Keeping Whale doesn't even feel good. It feels kind of like slow. Like, this is better. This is faster. You need to be like really, really fast at stabilizing here. Fizz is nuts. This is like top of Fizz's range. This is the most this is the single most value Fizz ever can and will get. And it's good value. This is all the value that card needs to get. Nuts. Absolutely insane. Oh, that's good enough.
First big mission. I didn't do anything.
I mean, he kind of needs to open attack now, right? Like, if you're blocking that Fizz, that means you have to open attack on this turn. Which is kind of nice for me. Okay, I only heard the deck code. This looks good. So yeah, the attack with Fizz is like pretty close there. It does a couple of things. It forces him to open attack, basically, or potentially get like really punished off of not open attacking. Because, I mean, we can have the ability to like blow that out or threaten it with like the petty officer and make it rain. I wouldn't take that attack in almost any other situation. And it still might have been wrong here. It was pretty close. But the stars happened to align to make that like a an option. Seems kind of like an easy open attack with petty officer. See what happens. Swim stops in a museum, a sketch drawing catching his eye. It's of a beautiful autumn evening, a light breeze blowing the leaves that are scattered across the ground. Though it's only a sketch, the different shades of black and white portray the coloring of the leaves beautifully. It isn't a usual landscape, but rather zoomed way in, showing the fine details of an acorn, which is the center point of the piece. He smiles to himself as he spoke. That's a pretty nut draw. Honestly, it's like, I will say, it's not like the highest quality pasta. Like, I'm not falling out of my chair laughing, but it's unique, it's original, and I very much appreciate it for that. It is still a pasta. That's, you know, it's a nice different approach. I like it. I like it. Didn't know where that was going. That's good enough for me. Is it a dad joke? Well, yeah, I mean, obviously it's like a dad joke, but the whole point is the build-up. Like, it's very, very different. It's very different. I like that pasta angle. It's sort of like the bait green text. Yeah, you can't call that a dad joke. Like, it ended in a dad joke, but that pasta was a lot more refined than a dad joke, you know? God, getting them to fervor a keg, man, there is just simply no better feeling when I can literally make him kill his spider on my keg with his fervor. Holy shit, do I feel good. Oh my god. Like, how is it even possible to feel bad after that? I think I want to kill the disciple while he's tapped under transfusion. I think I'm in a spot that allows me to do the safety play. There's a consideration that, you know, killing the boom crew is just better, but because I feel ahead here, I want to respect some spooky scenarios. And Disciple is like the pinnacle of spookiness. It's like, I don't know. I don't think he can power me down through this 15. Are you wearing a wig? No, but I'll probably have to start pretty soon. Because I am like starting to bald. And when I do start wearing a wig, I'll probably not tell anyone that I'm wearing a wig. I'm gonna get like a real prosthetic, like something that looks very, very genuine, using my actual hair, no doubt. And when I do get a wig, and when I tell people that I'm not using a wig, if people ask, I'll say that even though I'm not using a wig, I will have to start using a wig pretty soon. Because I am going bald. Just shave all your hair and make a wig out of it? Cool it, boys. We're not at that point yet. Oh, yeah. Oh, baby! Ooh, this one not so good, I think. Yeah, that one's a little worse. This is quite interesting. The way he's playing this actually makes his odds on second fairly high. I would love to grab. I'll pass now. He'll pass back to me. This pass is a waste of everyone's time. Oh, that's nice. Have you ever played tier 1 deck in your life? Yeah. I mean, I tend to I like trying to make lists better. That's kind of what attracts me to the idea of card games, which is the deck building element. So I usually try to take decks that are a bit lower and try to see if I can make them better. Because of course, I mean, everything's bad until it's good, right? It's like, bad thing is just another way of... the word bad is just another way of saying, well, it possibly could be good. I mean, it's probably not, but you never know, right? But with enough bad decks out there, you know, the odds will favor one or two of them being kind of secretly good. And so I tend to try to find, like, I have a lot more fun just finding some, as I say, secretly good archetypes. God, I've got, like, a terrible... Oh, I think I ate some, like, bad food or something, because my stomach is killing me. Ow. When people say, like, it's their stomach that's bothering them, I've never known this for sure, but I've kind of, like... I'm pretty sure when people say that their stomach hurts, it's like they're talking that they're saying they have to take a shit, right? I think, but I've never been like 100% sure of that. Cause like, aren't all stomach problems fixed by taking a shit? Where's the stomach? You guys are saying I'm wrong? Really? Like, okay, hang on. Like, okay, the stomach is like kind of down here, right? And when it hurts, it's like, you know, you chug some Pepto. We've got some Pepto here. Pepto will make everything better, as it always does. So step 1, chug some Pepto. And step 2, try to take a shit. Is there like other steps? Am I just dumb here? Like, what's going on? This game is looking like actually quite losable all of a sudden. Where'd my glimpse go? I think I have to favor the 3-1 here. Oh god, that feels bad. I think I have no choice. I mean, this last point of attack is gonna be good here. If it's your stomach that hurts, then taking a shit won't help until tomorrow. But like, so I know stomach and intestines are two different things, but when people say stomach, they mean intestines, right? Because like, okay, look, the stomach on the human body is like, obviously the stomach is like up here, but when we say stomach, we kind of mean like a little bit down here. Like, this is your stomach from the exterior, which is like, I don't know, am I wrong here? That's kind of how I've always used it. Am I just the weird one? Stomach is your stomach? Because most of your insides are just like intestines. Coming in hot. Seems good. That'll be enough for me. Let's go, dude. Is there something that punishes me for this? Guillotine plus get excited? Oh shit, if he has exactly guillotine plus get excited, I actually, or sorry, not guillotine, fervor. Noxian fervor. Fervor plus get excited, I actually lose by wailing here. Exactly here. I have to wait until he plays something. So here I can just merchant. Ah, who's the burn player now, bitch? We're good, dude! Man, nothing has ever felt better in my entire life. In my entire life! We're good. Oh god. Whew. Okay, but actually, I have to go take a shit. His deck is so fun. Yeah, it's a shit ton of fun. I think, like, literally, like, every Twisted Fate deck is just becoming, like, all of my favorite decks in the game. Like, Twisted Fate is just really, really, really fun. Vi Heimerdinger. Do you keep pilfered goods in the opener? It's kind of weird. I have actually been doing it. Let's keep keeping pilfered goods in the opener. Because I think like one of the ways this deck wins is just like a very early blowout with Black Market Merchant and pilfered goods. Like even one merchant and one goods, both on like turn 3 or 4, is just a really, really huge upswing in value against any like non-aggro deck that can't really like punish you for playing a little slowly. Looks like Keg here is pretty solid. I actually don't want him to pass into me. I don't think he gets enough value out of challenging the Keg here. Like, even if he wants to do it, it would be something that I wouldn't mind. Yeah, that's a bit of a close one, but I probably wouldn't drag the Keg there. It's just like, the 4 damage kind of always has to be worth. Thanks for your stream, bro. Love you and hello from Russian. Oh, thanks, man. I love you too. This is quite interesting. I mean, I could just start like doubling up on the Keg. I think that's like really risky considering the matchup. Probably take an open attack and kind of see what happens is going to be the best like open approach. I think there's a good chance he'll pass back to me. We'll see though. Okay. Static? Mystic, huh? Okay, sweet. Sounds good to me. Looks great. He kind of should be passing here, I think, and seeing what we do next. I don't know. Playing deeper into this feels a little too awkward. I'll happily make it rain here. At 2 mana, he needs second Mystic if he wants me to switch to Vile Feast, and even if he forces me to switch to Vile Feast, I wouldn't mind that much. We'd still kill the Monk. The Shadow Assassin would go down to 1. We'd have a pretty clean way to kill it elsewise. And in this case, we wouldn't be able to double pilfered goods, but we still get one of them off. Thoughts on Lucian Senna? Lucian Senna is pretty alright. I mean, it's definitely not bad. I don't know if the best Demacia deck runs it, but it's very much on the level. I mean, I guess I'll just draw more, I think. It's like, without Black Market Merchant, this card isn't as ridiculously amazing. It's still a 2 mana draw too, though. So, any ability to like generate card advantage, especially in slow games, is really important. I think that's really important to realize that, like, when it comes down to it, different situations are all just about, I would say, different timings. That's probably the best way to think about the game. Man, I don't even actually know if I want to go into anything weird like Keg. I don't think I have enough mana to play Keg here. Keg is pretty expensive. Shadow Assassin is a proactive play. I want to get the removal out. We'll keep the removal heavy hand and just go into the Shadow Assassin potential for block.
I need no weapon.
So at 3, kind of the default play is to take the block and Vile Feast the other one. He will fairly likely use a Twin Disciplines to keep his card alive, and I won't be able to stop that. But he will be down at Twin Disciplines, which is kind of a bit of a threat. It's like, forcing him to lose a Twin Disciplines in a matchup where we have the ability to go into kill Heimer is pretty nice. So I wouldn't necessarily mind it if he did that. Alternatively, we could block this one and let it through. That way, if he does a spell, we can always respond. If he Twin Disciplines, we can Mystic. If he Spirits Refuges, we can Vile, just tank the 2. This is something that we have the ability to kill out cleanly later with Mystic Shot. I think this is kind of just a little more, kind of like, general value, right? It's not anything weird going on. It's just like the good value play. So he burns 1 mana here. We win that like little tiny mana exchange. Merchant comes in a little too slow. I'd love to have my entire hand discounted by 1 mana. Oh well. And I think it's a good spot for my Keg here. It's like we've got a hand. If he passes back to me, that pretty much means he's sitting on his Heimer. So he plays his Heimer here. You want to play Heimer when he's very protectable. Now, against Keg, it's a little harder for him to protect that. You would need basically Twin Disciplines. So there should be a pretty high chance he's on Disciplines here. I'll just do like a proactive attack pass. The only reason we're attacking here is to just pass the action back to him. without letting him pass back to us and end the round. Because if we end the round right now, he goes mana positive. I burn 3 and he burns 1. He's 2 positive mana. So I can't let the round end right now, but I want to pass action to him so that he has to go first, right? Just gives him like more of a chance to make a mistake, basically. Yeah, no reason to do anything weird here. Let it die. It's a fine trade, like a non-elusive for an elusive here. So I can threaten the Heimer with a Mystic Shot. If he threatens the Powder Keg at that point, I can still re-threaten the Heimer with something else, either Vial or Get Excited. If he threatens the Powder Keg and then uses Twin Disciplines, that's a problem, but he won't have enough mana to do both. I think I'll start by threatening the Heimer and seeing what happens. I don't think there's anything like too risky with this. Usually it's like a Twin Disciplines and we can exchange with Get Excited to kill the Heimer. So it doesn't matter if we Get Excited now or later, right? I don't think it could possibly make a difference unless there's something I'm missing. So the question is, what do we discard here? Wow. And it's kind of weird. Normally I discard Parlay. In this hand, there's a consideration not to, just because I do want to use Black Market Merchant more proactively. I think I will discard Parlay, and I think I will just be okay with activating Merchant or Grasp. I don't know, Grasp is kind of shit here too. Let's do Grasp. I think that's fine. How different is this game if they allow life game over initial life like an MTG? I generally don't think that would be a great idea. I think there would be a few problems with that. It would be, ultimately, it wouldn't be like that different in weird scenarios, but I think the reason that they don't allow life gain is kind of like what allows them to print heavy life gain units. Like, that's how we can have such cheap lifesteal on like 5 attack units, because you can't go over. And that's like why there's interactions, like crazy interactions, like, you know, basically for the game to be balanced, if they allowed that, they would have to have less healing in the game. And I don't think that would make a better game, because they wouldn't want to allow for common situations where you can be at like 50 health. And I know that happens sometimes in Magic, but they wouldn't want that to be common. So I think I can just Parlay here. I'm pretty happy taking this Parlay. It's nice and proactive, leaves my mana open. I don't think there's any like major vulnerabilities here. Why not Parlay one of them? In this case, I'm willing to potentially tank 3 if it means that I can get my Black Market Merchant next turn, guaranteed. Now, in addition to that, it's also not necessarily tanking 3, but it's kind of like, it's locking him into a 6 mana attack, or a 6 damage attack, right? In reality, it's a 3 damage attack because of Vile Feast. He's only getting 3 damage out of his attack. If anything, the fact that I have Vile Feast, and the fact that his deck has no good... Wow! That's, like, way too edgy, I think. Like, that's a cute play, but that's, like, a little too cute. Kinda has to be. Anyway, yeah, so basically, think about it like this. The attack development is all about trying to get the best bang for your buck, right? You want to get the most out of your attack, so you want to have an acceptable range of attack. So if he has like 6 attack on his board, then he'll swing going for a 6 damage attack, because that's the best attack he's getting. Whereas, on the contrary, if he has... Here, I guess I can deckhand here. On the contrary, if we had killed one of his units, he would develop into me, probably. Depending on what his hand is, he might develop, because it's an elusive card, and, you know, his open attack is not really getting much better. So there's not really a reason he would open attack, and he would end up with about the same damage on his attack, right? Because, like, maybe he'd maybe play a card, or I'd play a card or something. And, like, he'd attack in, and I'd have the Vile Feast there anyway. But in a weird way, because we have Vile Feast in our hand, we sort of want to bait him into open attacking. I don't like using the word bait. I think you shouldn't be thinking about the game in terms of baits. But I'll use it here. But we don't want to... Yeah, we basically... We want to bait him into open attacking so that we can counter it with Vile Feast. Because his deck has no counter to Vile Feast. Now you might say, well, Swim, What do you mean? He can use twin or deny, but those are very expensive counters, right? That's not really a value trade for him. It's something that stops my thing from happening, but it's not a positive trade. I mean, I think I'll just take this attack. Looks pretty straightforward. He pretty much can't stop the plunder from going off here. Swim is really good at baiting. Many call him a master baiter. Yeah, I'm pretty good at baiting, I would say. So Glimpse Beyond is really high value here. Not only will I get to draw, and not only will I get to, you know, kill one of my own units, but I'm fizzling the Get Excited, which means... Oh, wait. Oh, God. Okay, I forgot. There's... Get Excited is the only spell... is the only single target spell in the game that can't be fizzled. For some reason, there's this weird interaction with Get Excited. It's because it discards that it still goes off even though it's doing nothing. So, he still gets the turret. God. I mean, I don't really care about him having the turret because I have Make It Rain. But there's almost a consideration to deny that. Because I'm kind of almost not getting a better deny. That's weird. Well, we're still getting the plunder off, and we still got the Make It Rain in response. So drawing the parlay is really nice, because that means we can threaten the Heimer, and then when he keeps the Heimer alive, usually in a way by killing Powder Keg, then we re-threaten off of Make It Rain. You want to do it in this order, because of course... Do you want to do it in this order? It kind of doesn't matter, because his only other unit has 1 health, but you're dealing more face damage, I guess. Oh wow, this actually just goes through. That's kind of funny. What a hand, what a hand. Okay, I guess we're just getting slow rolled. I mean, that counters me pretty well. We don't really have a way to counter that, because popping barrier would be basically consuming our keg. Could we have, like, in some more efficient way, could we have saved the counter to that? Not really. Deny your own spell. Guys, that's hilarious, but I think it's a really terrible idea. Like, it's funny, guys. Tee-hee. Look, listen. It really is funny. That basically can't be right. It's actually kind of almost right, but it can't be right. It's not that far off though. It isn't. I mean, Make It Rain is just dealing a little bit more face damage, lower odds of being able to kill an irrelevant unit. I kind of have to take it here. And we're getting the Black Market Merchant down this turn, which is quite nice. It's like, we still have, like, good counters to what... We still have good counters to, like, you know... I mean, we still have the ability to kill a Heimer. We're not out of resources. Now, you might say, well, what do you mean? You only have Whale 1 damage, but... I mean, this deck... The odds of us having a way off of, like, the salvage are pretty high. Plus, like, the draw 1 here. It's like, we have a lot of ways of dealing with it. Maybe not necessarily this turn, but... Usually, we have eventual ways to deal with it, and we don't care about giving him turrets because we had the 1 whale in our hand. We didn't have the second one at that point in time, but even the first whale means we're not really in like a mega rush, like win or lose situation to kill the Heimer there. Do you think Riot will print a card in the future that'll let you insert the spell into the spell queue at any point you want? Probably not. That's an interesting idea. I hadn't thought of that. That is interesting. Am I saving my mana for a deny? Is he gonna play anything I need to deny here? I'll burn 1 if he's burning 6. I think that's fine. A burn of 1 actually has a fairly hard time mattering anyway. So usually our open attack here will be good, because he has a hard time blocking with Heimer. Open attack's good here, so we can get the plunder off unless he wants to do something about it. And start setting up for the Twisted Fate. No reason to like Twisted Fate before combat here. We're just getting the best attack we can. Okay, probably Merchant here. Oh yeah, that's nice. I don't know. I mean, there's a call to gold card, the Heimer. I kind of like. I feel like it's pretty vulnerable in a lot of situations. It would have been before combat, of course. I don't really feel like very sad that I didn't gold card that Heimer, but it might have been proper. It's possible. God, as much as I like red card, I just want a blue card. Like, imagine actually using any card other than blue card. Like, why do anything when you can just draw cards? Drawing cards is the way you do things. Drawing cards is amazing. Patch notes out. Oh, is there what is patch notes? Is it just like just bug fixes? Because there's no like balance changes, right? I would actually, if Get Excited was fizzleable, I would actually probably will my Twisted Fate here. As it stands... Ah, Jesus Christ. Am I actually about to do this? Ah, I don't think I can. I don't think I quite can. It's kind of close. This is a good draw given our hand. And almost every hand this draw is troll, but we happen to have double whale, so we're protected against like one keg removal. If this is a single whale hand, this draw sucks. Because he'll like, we always whale and he'll always just like Mystic Shot our keg or something and then we'll cry. But two whale, I guess the second whale is the second point of damage either way. What the fuck am I talking about? Never mind. Okay, yeah, we can check out these patch notes. It's just like, there's not actual balance changes, but I mean... For lack of better to do. Yeah, we'll check out the patch notes here. Got the other TF. Whew. Best deck against Karina Vi. Like, almost anything other than Burn, actually. Anything other than Burn and probably Betterment beats Karina Vi. Like, Ionia plus X. So that would be like Lux Karma should be favored, Ezreal Karma. Heimer Vi is favored into it, I think. But that one would be a little closer. By the way, it's actually very possible he has a double deny hand, or deny plus removal. And it's a 4-card hand, so it's not like that insanely likely, but I think it's likely enough. Okay, he's just letting it through. That feels pretty good to me, actually. See, again, it's like, you could gold card, but it's like, why would I play any card that's not blue card? This is a big hand read, by the way. It's like, not going it to stop that is very specific. It's like no removal, no deny. I think I just want to keep drawing, honestly. Like, real talk? I'm just gonna keep doing this. I think there's a good chance he's on Thermo. He's only played one Thermo. So how you want to, like, how hand ranges work is the same as in poker. So you start the game with like a range in your head, and it's a process of elimination, right? As you eliminate cards from the hand, like, everything else becomes more and more likely. Is this the 8-mana Thermo for the Roar, for the Rex? 8-mana Thermo? Oh, yeah. Hit me, dude. Slap me. Do it. Dude, this is the rope of a man who's about to move in on an 8-mana Thermo. And oh god, he decided not to. Yeah. I mean, he's way too open to stuff like Deny, even if I didn't have like other answers. I guess I kind of have to open with Fizz. It's a little weird. We're kind of like out of card draw, which kind of sucks. This deck kind of needs to have more card draw. But Fizz, interestingly enough, can actually get us value here. We're in an insanely bizarre situation where we're actually low on resources. Like, I would actually just use the free Chum the Waters in my hand. I've basically never once hit with Fizz, gotten a free Chum the Waters, and been like, yay. This is the first time I will ever hit with Fizz, get the Chum the Waters, and feel good about it. But to do that, I'd have to, like, Whale Feast preemptively. Oh, that does feel a little bad. Actually, that feels quite bad. I still have Deny open, whatever. This is, like, a little telling. I don't know if this play was worth it. It's like, I think this was kind of dumb. I'm too deep at this point. No Deny, unless it's off the top. And it was the Claws that was off the top, right? No, Claws was off the top last round. So yeah, basically at the start of the game, the range is, you know, whatever is, like, certain things are more likely based on what they would mulligan and what they would keep. But as they, like, start, it's a process of elimination. They'll make a play and you'll be like, okay, due to that play, he doesn't have X. So you cross X off in your head. And as more things get crossed off, the likelihood of everything that you haven't crossed off yet increases, right? That's kind of how you should think about probabilities and like the range of an opponent's hand. You know, there was this big moment when we went in for the Keg Whale where it's like, there's a lot of cards he would have to play here. Deny anything that deals damage at fast speed. I think, and he's on a 3-card hand. It's actually pretty hard. Like, and his pass here, God, that's so weird. He obviously can't have stuff like Second Heimer or Progress or Vi. It's like, these 3 cards are becoming very specific the way he's playing. Which is why we can say the odds of one of them being Thermo are actually pretty high. Like, surprisingly high at this point. So what does that pass represent anything? Is there something that would compel you to pass there? And if you want to try hard on ladder, I would really, really recommend doing this, which is just like pulling up the opponent's deck and thinking about it. It's like, what could he have? It couldn't be Deep Meditation. Could be Second Refuge. You normally would expect the opponent doesn't draw the second copy of a thing they already only have 2 of. But again, his range is specific at this point. He's going to be on a weird hand. It's going to be like double Thermo or like, look at his hand. He would have played almost any of these cards, almost any of them in a 3-card hand. So like Thermo, Will, and what was the third one I was gonna mention? Spirit's Refuge. Like, those cards actually just become very likely all of a sudden, even though there's not that many. Solitary Monk, maybe like last turn, but even Solitary Monk he would have opportunities to use here. Like he wouldn't, like, he doesn't need to be mana efficient. He could bounce Heimer, but yeah, it could have been Monk draw like last turn maybe, or this turn. But if it was a Monk before that, he'd probably have it. And then this is his card off the top. So Will of Ionia left side off the top means, you know, I mean, our read is useless against off the top. You can't play against, you can't play around off the top. So I mean, this kind of has to be. God, am I actually gonna deny that? That's like the worst feeling ever, guys. He's targeting my Fizz, and my play actually might be to deny the spell that's targeting my Fizz. What the hell? Like, oh. It's so bad, but I actually might have to do that. This is terrible. I think it's a bit better to will one of my cards. Either Merchant or Twisted Fate. Probably Merchant here. If he has more likelihood of being on like Mystic or Get Excited. Oh, by the way, 3rd Get Excited is in his range too. Because that's a clunky card to use if he has a card he doesn't want to discard. So 3rd Get Excited is in his range. So again, as the range gets more narrow, you start putting your opponent on weird hand. For example, there's a good chance he has a second Will of Ionia. A good chance he has a second Will of Ionia in this hand. Thermo, this is like, is this the 9-mana Thermo he's been holding on to? That would be a little weird to use it here. But, like, he is on a very specific hand here. Very, very specific hand here. Other Merchant? Yeah. That was a mental misstep on my part. You guys are correct. Look, listen. Though, okay. I had like a little brain oopsie. You guys are right. I'll admit that. Okay? This is a good draw, by the way. The casual 13-card deck. Part of the reason why using the deny instead of the will there might have been better was for the sake of T-Hex. Usually using Will on T-Hex is a really powerful counter, because usually Heimerdinger is in a board state where they're extremely mana starved to the point where, so Will reset it to an 8-mana card even though he played it at 2 mana, and they can usually never actually even play it again. Usually they just have a hand then want to do other things. Willing T-Hex here doesn't actually really do anything, because he's starved for cards and not mana. That's his resource he's playing for, which means he would just kind of play it again if we saved Will for it. Yeah, I mean, my Twisted Fate is leveling here, right? Am I like, 10 cards left on my deck? What are the odds I deck myself here? We're fine. This is totally okay.
Now this game's heating up.
There's actually a chance Pool Shark will just like start killing me. I don't know, I'll just summon like a 1-cost ally, I guess. I'm like blue carding, I'm down to 5 cards in my deck. You really have to view your self deck as a resource here. Because you can actually just, this is like how you lose. Now usually, if you're drawing a lot, it's really hard to, you lose the game before you can kill your opponent. It's like, if you're drawing this much, your opponent should be dying before you. And that's why this is fine. That's why this is fine. Oh yeah, there was the flash card. I forgot about that. That's an important step of the hand read that I missed out on, which is that one of his cards was a Flash of Brilliance card, and there's actually, I think there are, if I remember correctly, I think there's exactly 10. Maybe it's like 11. Oh yeah, they might have added some new cards. But if I'm like playing in a tournament or something, like you have to be kind of writing all of this stuff down. And like as soon as they play Flash, they have like a new 10 card set. These cards are all in their range, and then like as time goes on, you kind of start eliminating them to the point where we could have actually been very sure his card was Dawn of Dusk, because like it would have gone for several turns, and then his card like it would have taken a few turns to eliminate Shadow Flare, but he was actually in a Shadow Flare spot that he declined. So like we could have been almost certain his last card was Dawn of Dusk there if we were like kind of like remembering that one of his card was Flash of Brilliance, which I just kind of forgot. I'm not gonna try hard to that level in a ranked game where I'm literally, because of course how you play tournaments as a card game player is you'll have a notepad on the side and you'll be literally like writing down shit. You'll be, because you usually can't have a deck tracker, so you'll write down like what cards you've seen. You'll write down like you kind of cross off things in the opponent's range. Be like, okay, he didn't have this on turn X. One of his cards is X. That's too much for me playing ranked. But yeah, in an ideal world, we would definitely have been able to read the Dawn of Dusk there. Anyway, I think hand reading is a really important skill in this game. So it'll make you be a better player to kind of think about it in exactly this way.